Welcome to the Recon Trader. In today's video, I will show you how to set up a Bitgap grid trading bot strategy after a market sell-off like we have just recently experienced. And this will also include coin selection as well. Now, if you're not familiar with Bitgap, it is an all-in-one crypto trading platform. You can actually do live day trading via their trading terminal software. You can also try out their arbitrage feature if you want to give that a shot. But today we will be focusing on their grid bots. Now, if you're curious what type of investment is required to get started, you can actually get started for free. They offer a 14-day free trial, and if you use my link down in the description, you will actually get to use the Pro plan for those 14 days for absolutely free. Now, once your free trial expires, then you can get started for as little as $19 a month, and that will allow you to deploy 2 active grid bots. Or if you're looking to deploy more grid bots, you could step up to the advanced plan for $44 a month, and that would allow you to deploy up to 5 active grid trading bots. Now, that's enough jaw-jacking. Let's get to coin selection and getting one of these bots deployed. But before we get too far into the weeds, if you're not familiar with how a grid bot actually functions, it is basically made up of open limit orders both on the buy side and the sell side. So the green lines and the red lines that make up the grid that you see on the screen are basically open limit orders. The green lines are open limit buy orders and the red lines are open limit sell orders. And so what you're looking for is when the price action goes down or dips, you're buying at a lower price, and when that price action rips up, you're selling for profit at a higher price. Now, this particular grid that we're taking a look at is a perfect example of how to deploy a bot right after a sell-off to take advantage of perhaps a bounce or to act as a hedge in case the price continues to sell down. Now, I deployed this bot on ETH right after this sell-off a couple days ago. I did wait for the recovery, and I waited for the price action to start to move somewhat sideways, and then I deployed the bot, as you can see down here, approximately 3 days ago. And right now, the bot's returning a 1% per day profit after deployment, and in reality the price has sold off again recently, yet I'm still in the green for profit on this particular bot. And that is the idea of deploying a bot after one of these big sell-offs, is you're going to have some choppy action, and if support actually holds, eventually you will see the price move back up to perhaps some higher highs. Now, I do also want to note that I deployed this on ETH because I was actually willing to hold ETH for the long term. So if this price action rolls over and we actually end up going into a bear market for the next couple years, I will continue to buy ETH on the way down at a lower price. And if the price rebounds up, sell for a profit. But if that price continues to go down, I'm fine with accumulating ETH at a lower price for the long term, because I am confident at some point in the future ETH will see all-time new highs, and at that point I will be taking profit on those coins that I bought at a lower price. Now, in my ADA bot, I also deployed about a day later. It is also a coin I'm willing to hold for the next couple years, and you can see we had the big sell-off. We had the rebound. However, this is the rollover you saw early on in the ETH. I actually deployed the Cardano bot once we started to see this price action move sideways. And the price action did eventually recover, start to move sideways again, and now we sold back off to this support level. Now, one of the nice features offered by Bitgap is they have a trailing down feature. Now, I do have this feature deployed both on ETH and the ADA token, since again, I am willing to hold these coins long term. And you can see I have that trailing down all the way to the $1 level. And in reality, if it went down below that, I would probably adjust that down even lower. And on the flip side, I also have trailing up enabled for this particular bot because I'm more than willing to follow this price action up and sell at higher prices and buy the dips down. So now I need to decide what coin do I actually want to deploy the bot on today. And again, it's going to be a coin I plan to hold long term. Now, on the longer term charts, we are looking somewhat bullish, but that can break bearish at any time now. So a good source to do a little bit of research on crypto assets is CoinGecko. Now, I already have grid bots deployed on Bitcoin, Ethereum, and ADA, so those are out of the question since I'm already covered on those particular coins. So we look a little further down, and the first one we would come to is Binance, and what I'm looking for is the 7-day period, the 24-hour period, and not so much the 1 hour, but I'll take a glance at it. Also, I want to take a quick peek at the line chart over here and see if it has the type of price action I'm looking for a good entry on. So Binance, we can see, has sold off about 16.5% over the last 7 days, which is in line with both ADA and Ethereum. And today it sold off about 4.5%, which is actually a little less than Ethereum and ADA, and maybe a little more in line with Bitcoin. And if we look at the line chart, we can see that big dump that we just saw pretty much in Bitcoin, Ethereum, and Cardano, and now it's moving sideways. And this is exactly what I would be looking for. If we look down at Solana, just below Binance, this is the line chart I don't want to see, as we have already had a pretty big move up, and I don't want to be at the top of this move with my grid bots. However, I do have my MACD bot running on Solana, and it's up almost 300%, so that's a completely different strategy from a grid bot. With a grid bot, I prefer to be somewhere closer towards the bottom of this chart rather than the top of the chart. So Binance would be a candidate. The only concern I do have with Binance right now is the fact they are in the crosshairs of a lot of regulators, and that could add more downward pressure on that particular coin. So we'll scroll down and take a look. Again, I already said Solana. Now, XRP, they're being investigated by the SEC. So again, not a coin I want to hold long term at this point in time. So we'll keep scrolling down and we come to Polkadot, and Dot hasn't sold off near as much as the rest of the market, was around that 15% level. Now if we glance over at the line chart, you do see the big dip. However, they did bounce a little better than the rest of the market, so they've already had a bit of recovery that I would have preferred to be a part of ahead of time. Now I might be a little too late, so I'm going to take a pass on Polkadot. Terra, Luna, they're headed to the moon right now, so they're out of the question. Bitcoin Cash, I don't trade crap coins, so that pretty much rules out Bitcoin Cash. Now, if you think I skipped Dogecoin, well, again, see crap coins, and I don't trade crap coins. Chainlink would be a candidate. If we look over at the line chart, we do see the big dip down and they are moving sideways. However, Chainlink isn't really a coin I'm looking to hold for multiple years. It's something I day trade, but not something I'm looking to hold long term. Litecoin, they've pretty much lost their thunder as far as I'm concerned. I bought a lot of Litecoin in 2017, 2018. I got out of most of it towards the top of this recent bull run, and I'm happy with those profits. But I'm not interested in getting involved in a project that I feel will continue to decline and have no real future use. And so next we're looking at Uniswap, and we see it. They sold off actually more than the rest of the market. They sold off about 26% in the last 7 days and about 9.6% in the last 24 hours. And if we look over at the line chart, we can see there is quite the sell-off, and they've just started to move sideways. So Uniswap would be perhaps the first candidate we have for this particular bot. Algo, much like Luna, is headed to the moon right now, so they're out of the question. AVX also has already had a pretty good recovery. ICP, see crap coin. FTX, they've actually pumped recently, so again, I'm not interested in getting in at the top of a pump. And then we have Polygon or Matic. They did not sell off as much as the rest of the market. However, today they are kind of matching the sell-off of the market. And if we look over at the line chart quickly, we get that sell-off and it's moving sideways. So now we have Uniswap and Matic as two possibilities. Filecoin, again, they didn't really experience the same sell-off. VeChain, VET, That's a coin I do hold long term, and they had a pretty big sell off of 19% over the last 7 days. Last 24 hours, they're matching pretty much the sell off of the market. And again, looking at the line chart, we get that big sell off, and now we're starting to somewhat move sideways. So right now, I think my best candidates would be Uniswap, Polygon, and VeChain. So we'll jump back over to Bitgap, and I'm going to switch my exchange from Qcoin to Binance US. And since I use the trailing down feature, I do want to deploy using the SBOT strategy. The pair, I'm thinking I'm going to go with VET. So we're going to go VET, USDT. And then the amount of ammo I'll give this particular bot will be 500 USDT. And next, I need to adjust my lower and upper price limits. And so the upper price limit, since I will have trailing up enabled, I will drag down into this prior resistance level that we can see since the big sell-off. VET's having a hard time reaching back up to the 13-cent mark. And then for my lower price, we'll come right into what we see as support. And again, the lower price is not nearly as important since I can enable the trailing down feature. So I'm going to come over here to trailing down and toggle that on. And then I need to set a stop limit for that trailing down feature, and I'm going to put that at around 4 cents. Again, this is something I'm willing to hold for the next 2, 3, 4 years. VET is a project that I am very bullish on in the long term. So I'm willing to continue to buy all the way down if we enter a bear market and accumulate more VET and add it to my long-term hold position. Now, one of the things that is important to understand about the trailing down feature is you actually need to have some additional USDT in your exchange account in order to add more buy orders on the way down. If you have no more USDT available, the bot cannot follow that price down because in reality it needs that ammo to buy more VET on the way down. And if you don't have that additional USDT in this case in your exchange account, it's not going to be able to trail that price down. Now I need to adjust my grid step and my grid levels. So as I mentioned earlier, the red and green lines you see on the screen are open limit buy and sell orders, and those are basically my grid levels. Now again, I'm going to adjust my lower price up a little as I do have the trailing down feature on, and I'm actually going to adjust my upper price down into this resistance level as I have trailing up enabled. So it is not as important to have a big grid already in place since I do have both trailing up and trailing down enabled. Now that I have those set, I will adjust my grid spacing and the number of grids. So let's just bump the number of grids up to 30. And we'll run a quick back test and see what kind of results we get. Now keep in mind, back test results don't guarantee future results. And in reality, I don't put much weight in the back test results other than to just see, had I had it deployed earlier, what type of returns this grid spacing would have produced. And so we get not too bad of results actually. The 3-day result would have been 4%, and in reality, on a lot of my grid bots, I do shoot for a 1% profit per day. However, on my long-term hold grid bots, I'm okay with much smaller returns because, again, all I'm trying to do is accumulate at a lower price the coins I'm willing to hold long-term or sell for profit when profit is available to be captured. But in this case, this bot would actually meet my 1% profit per day. And as you can see, the price did exit the upper and lower limits up because I have trailing up and trailing down enabled. I would have captured those moves as well. So based on this back test results, this bot would definitely be winning the battle. However, remember, back test results don't guarantee future results. So I'm pretty much ready to deploy the bot. However, I'm going to have to give the bot a little more ammo as this red box indicates. The bot is going to need at least 600 USDT. Now that we've got that straightened out, we can click start. And then in reality, I do have to actually buy 2,500 VET in order to be able to satisfy the open sell limit orders on the way up for the grid, and I need to hold those in case the price does nothing but go up from here. So I click yes buy, and you can see that market order was placed for the vet. Order was filled. The grid is starting to fill in, and the bot has officially started. And so I think that pretty much wraps it up. I just wanted to show you my strategy for deploying a grid bot after the market sells off, and also how I go about looking for those coins to use in that particular strategy. So if you like this video, do me a favor, spike a like. I'll do a profit update on these particular bots in the near future, so you might want to shoot that subscribe button so you don't miss out on any of the future videos. If you have any questions or comments, feel free to drop those in the comment section down below. I will drop a link to Bitgap in the description down below. And in closing, remember, never send your money into battle without first doing your recon. See you in the next video.